He was driving home after a long shift, his badge tucked safely in his pocket, his thoughts on dinner and family. Nothing unusual, just another night. But then, flashing lights exploded in his mirror. Police cruiser. First, he thought it was routine. But as the officer approached, his stare told a darker story. This wasn't about a broken taillight. It was about something written on his skin. He had no idea that tonight, the officer was pulling over the wrong man. And when the truth came out, it would turn the officer's world upside down. Marcus Daniels had worked his way through the ranks with discipline and pride. A black man serving as a federal agent. He carried the weight of representation on his shoulders every single day. In his neighborhood, he was the quiet success story. The boy who stayed up late studying, the man who never quit even when doors slammed shut. He believed justice wasn't just a dream, it was a duty. That evening, the streets were calm, almost silent. Marcus leaned back, the hum of his car steady beneath him. He had just finished a grueling week of surveillance work, drained but satisfied. His tie loosened, his jacket tossed in the back seat. His mind finally shifted away from danger and toward the warmth of home. But then, headlights appeared in his rearview mirror. Too close, too deliberate. Seconds later, red and blue lights pierced the night. Marcus sighed, not from guilt but from a chilling awareness. He knew what this was. He had lived this moment too many times before, and he knew it rarely ended well. The officer tapped the window, his expression sharp, his hand resting just a little too comfortably near his holster. License and registration. The words weren't just procedure, they carried an edge, an accusation. Marcus kept calm, reaching for my wallet, taking out my license. Every move was narrated, slow, deliberate. Not for himself, for survival. The officer's eyes narrowed. "Were you headed this late?" "Home," Marcus answered, steady but cautious. Suspicion lingered. The officer circled the car, flashlight sweeping like a searchlight hunting prey. When he returned, his tone hardened. "Step out of the vehicle." Marcus complied. Under the harsh glare of headlights, he stood tall, every muscle tight with restraint. The officer pressed him with questions about the car, his income, his presence in that neighborhood. Each word dripped with bias, as if guilt could be found in the color of his skin. A couple of neighbors peeked from their windows. A pair of bystanders raised their phones, recording. Marcus felt the weight of humiliation, but he didn't flinch. He had faced criminals with less venom than this man. Then came the final push. The officer ordered a search, moving closer, his hand brushing the cuffs on his belt. Marcus's patience was razor thin. He gave a quiet, measured warning. "Officer, I advise you to reconsider your actions." But arrogance overrode reason. The officer sneered, muttering about knowing your place. And that's when the shift happened. Marcus slowly reached into his jacket. The officer stiffened, his hand flew to his weapon. The air froze. One wrong move could mean the end. But instead of resistance, Marcus revealed a sleek black wallet. He opened it, and the golden badge of the Federal Bureau of Investigation gleamed in the light. The transformation was instant. The officer's smirk drained, replaced by a pale, choking silence. The badge reflected in his eyes like a mirror to his own downfall. Marcus didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. His calmness carried more weight than anger ever could. "I'm Special Agent Marcus Daniels. You've just detained a federal officer without cause." The officer staggered, fumbling for words, his confidence collapsing in front of flashing cameras and curious eyes. He knew this wasn't just a mistake. This was career-ending. Marcus locked eyes with him. "Your conduct tonight will be reported, and it will not be ignored." Phones recorded every second. The same arrogance that had fueled the officer moments earlier now burned into humiliation. His hands shook as he muttered an apology, but the damage was already done. Marcus returned to his car, badge heavy in his hand. He could have pushed harder, demanded immediate arrest, turned the night into headlines. But he chose restraint, because this moment wasn't just about him. He drove home in silence, headlights carving the road ahead. Yet the weight of the encounter pressed against him. He could stand against terrorists and international criminals with the full backing of the Bureau. But here, on a quiet street, his greatest danger had come from the very system sworn to protect him. The officer would face accountability, yes, but Marcus knew too many who never saw justice. Too many names whispered in grief. Too many stories ending in silence. That night, he understood. This wasn't about a single officer's arrogance. It was about a cycle that repeats night after night, street after street. And so the question lingers, not just for Marcus, but for all of us. How many more lives must be humiliated, endangered, or destroyed before justice becomes the rule and not the exception?